Hi everyone, it's Tech Thursday. I'm Nicole.
And I'm Cassie.
Oh, did it just go live?
No, it's going.
Nice. All right, nice. Sorry we're a little late. I know that all you clamoring fans were wondering why we're approximately 18 minutes late to our weekly show here, but we've just moved office.
Ta-da!
Just why there's a different background behind us.
Yes.
And and so we were getting set up and we had a little bit of in and outs of people, and so now we're by ourselves here for the moment. So
yeah, for the time being.
So we thought today that we'd talk a little bit about online fundraising, because it's something that whether you're a nonprofit or a business, you probably had to do or thought about doing, especially in view of resources like Kickstarter and the fact that online payment processing is becoming cheaper and cheaper.
Yes.
So we ran an Indiegogo campaign actually to get our space started. The reason we did is because it's actually going to be a co-working space. We're opening to the public April 1st.
Next Tuesday? Wednesday?
Next Wednesday, yeah. But we wanted to be in the space a couple of days early to kind of work out some issues like, getting the heat turned on. That's why we wear jackets on, and some other things like that. So, but since we're doing a co-working space and it's something that the town needs, we decided to do an Indiegogo campaign. Kickstarter used to be able to do these campaigns, but if you read their bylaws, you can't do them anymore. So if you're going to do fundraising, finding the right website is definitely key, and there's a lot of them out there. Have you ever donated to anybody's like fundraising campaign? I know you like with runs and stuff. Do people use any of those?
No. Not the people I know.
Not the people you know. I wasn't sure. I know that sometimes I have a couple of runner friends that are always trying to raise money for stuff, so I wasn't sure if you were in that crowd.
No, because I usually run based on times rather than the money aspects, because I'm not much of a salesperson. So, yeah. I mean, a lot of the races I do end up, like, my entry fee goes to charity, but I don't get sponsored or anything.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. So there's different websites that people use to raise money with. Some of them are ongoing, which means you can just have a page up and people can donate money, through the site that goes to typically your organization, like a nonprofit. And some people have these short campaigns, these 30 or 60 or 90-day campaigns. Like we had a 30-day campaign to raise money for Anchor Space to get it started. So the other decision you get to make is you can do all or nothing funding, or you can do what's called flexible funding or something like that, where you actually get the money raised. One of my friends had a fundraising campaign for $5,000 and he decided to do all or nothing. So he had to raise $5,000
or not,
or he wouldn't get any of it. So he was like $200 short.
That's heartbreaking.
I know. Well, that's why for this campaign we did flexible funding, because I knew that psychologically I couldn't handle getting close and then having it, be yet so far like I hadn't done anything.
That's why I don't gamble, because I hate that, like, the idea that I could walk away empty-handed.
Yeah. So
or worse.
Right. But if you're raising, and there's definitely, so for example, I think Kickstarter, they've seen that if you're raising for less than $5,000, you're like much more likely to be successful. So there's certain like best practices you can look at and say, okay, I can probably get that, but at the same time, it's kind of good to know how that feels in your stomach to think that you could lose money that you've raised. Of course, I'm sure some people just go on and just give the last couple $100 or something, to get over the hump. But yeah, a lot of these. So there's a lot of websites. There's like literally hundreds of websites that will help you raise money to do stuff, whether you're a nonprofit or a business.
I feel like they probably get really, I don't have any examples, but I'm guessing they get like really specific with what you can use them for.
Yeah, exactly. So some of them are just for nonprofits, and some of them it's for certain kinds of businesses. Like this is a fundraising thing for tech startups, or this is a fundraising thing for women starting their own businesses, or whatever. Some of them are pretty specific, and some of them are like Kickstarters, more general. And that's why people have more experience with that. But the other thing is that you want to look at whether you're paying a monthly fee to use something, or whether you're paying a percentage of the money you raise. In the way of processing fees, because you got to think about it. These websites have to make money, right? They have to pay people to develop them. They have to, take up space on the server. There is, support if you need support helping set something up. So they have to make some money off of it. So, like for example, so we used Indiegogo because it allowed us to do it for a co-working space. And we had two choices. We had fixed funding, which means if you raise your amount, you get everything. It was basically their version of all or nothing. And that they only took 4% processing if you did that. And if you did flexible funding, they take 9%. The look on your face is amazing. So like we raised like, I don't know, $1,950, right? And of that, $1,700 and something is going into our bank account. Now, I hadn't done the job of reading the fine print, which is the fact that this gets deposited up to 15 business days after the campaign ends. So, so there's this period where the money is there, but you don't have access to it. So before you sign up for anything like that, read the fine print, read about the fees, read about the payment schedule, stuff like that could actually affect what you're trying to do.
Yeah, the tricky thing is they might not have that information from the center.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, the fact that I missed that and I was like specifically looking for that really said something. So the other thing too, if you don't feel like, so if you have like a specific project you want to do, you can do a fundraising campaign around it. If you just want to raise money, that's where having some kind of ongoing system, like a donation form, comes in. And Cassie's built a few of these, so she can speak even more to it about it than I can. Also, I've been talking a lot. Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I vaguely smell like vapor rub. I just realized. So
no, I'm not noticing it.
Yeah, donation forms. I don't know. Build them and put them on your site, and you take money.
Yeah. So we use a payment processor called Stripe to set them up because there's no, there's no monthly fee and there's no setup fee. So
and it integrates with like a million different things.
It does integrate with like a million different things.
So that's really helpful.
Yeah, and it takes I think 2.9% plus 30 cents a transaction for any card. So Amex, Discover, and then Visa and MasterCard. So
it's like money you won't even miss because it's so awesome.
Well, and it makes it pretty easy in terms of letting your customer. I mean, I don't know about you, but I would rather get $997.50 than a $1,000 check that's 6 months late. You know what I mean? Like, there's something to be said for cash on hand. I'm just kidding. It might be a little bit less than that, but point being, I don't mind. Like, I don't mind spending $15 to get paid a little bit sooner sometimes, especially if it's a big amount. So what I like about Stripe too is that we can build things into the form besides payment. So we can make it so that you check a box and the person is added to an email list. So like subscribe to our email newsletter, or we can just collect general information about the donor, because sometimes people, like you need to report to a board of like, who are your funders? What have you reached? And you can sort of collect even some basic demographic information, and you can sort of report back about who's supporting you online.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can see, I guess, age group, if there are any geographic areas that you feel like you need to target more. Some people care about that in terms of organizations. The other thing with Stripe too is for the younger people, they're more likely to give money online, research shows, especially if all they have to do is like, I mean, I write checks, but I know most people my age don't. And I know my brother doesn't even cash checks. Like he'll just take a picture of it and send it and like get it deposited from his phone.
Man, I don't trust that. I know that sounds crazy, but
I don't either. He's only 14 months younger than me.
He's not significantly younger.
No, he's just like right behind me. But
That's
yeah,
funny. So what does he do with the check after he takes the picture? Does he just rip it up?
probably because he doesn't burn stuff. Like that's another thing that I do. I just burn all my documents.
Oh, Derek does that too. My husband loves to burn anything.
I just like it
remotely
because
sensitive.
it keeps me warm. Otherwise, I would just rip it up and whatever. But yeah, easy to start fire.
I used to just start fires.
I feel like if you compare my brother and I right now, it's like.
Yeah, I guess I just wouldn't trust the bank, and they'd say 30 days later, "Oh, I didn't get your check," and then you burned it in the wood stove, or
Like you have a picture of it on your phone.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
And it's through the TD app, so.
Oh, it's secured through the app. Okay. So that was the other thing too. I was like, yeah, I don't know. I'm a little bit of a paranoid person sometimes about that stuff.
Yeah, so anyway, people like him are more likely to give money online than they are to like give you hard money.
Right. And also allows people to give like a smaller amount.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's funny. We set up this donation form for somebody, and part of me wanted to like put sort of suggested amounts. Like, you get the things in the mail and it's like, oh, we suggest like you donate 10 or whatever. And you're supposed to check off the box. Well, we just left it open and the person donated $90. And I thought it was funny because if we would have said 50 or 100, they would have picked 50. But because we left it open-ended, they put 90, which I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a case to be said for accepting pretty much any amount of money that people want to give to you.
Yeah. You'd be surprised, people.
Yeah. And, because like it doesn't feel weird like just giving $5 via the internet, but it feels stupid writing a $5 check. Like that feels stupid. Like you're not at the coffee shop being like, oh, hold on, let me get out my checkbook and write you a $5.49 check for these 2 coffees,
Yeah,
Like,
you're like digging through change at that point.
Right. but you'll swipe a card or you'll key a card in. That feels less weird, and I don't know, I'm not sure why. But yeah, so thinking about whether you're fundraising for a specific thing or whether you're doing some kind of ongoing effort. And either way, you got to tell people what's going on, because nothing. I think with our campaign, I sort of dropped the ball because at the end I meant to like say, oh, we're almost there in 5 more days, and I had this whole, and I completely forgot about it. But I bet that that would have generated some excitement. And I have seen that like 30 to 40% of donations come in the last 3 days or 4 days of the campaign, or in the case of taxes of the calendar year. Like the most money comes in like between December 29th and December 31st. Like I think 40% of donations are made that day. Yeah, so that's why like a lot of people kind of clamor for people are procrastinators, right? Like they like having a deadline, and they will do it at the last possible friggin' minute if they can get away with it. Myself included, totally. I will own that. But yeah, so think about if you're doing a one-time thing or some kind of sustained effort, and regardless though, you have to tell people where you're at. Read the fine print if you're using a third-party website to make sure you understand all the fees. Are some of the processing fees being charged now and some later? Like, are you going to get a bill later on with the rest of the processing fees? Do they hold your money for a certain period of time? Because let's face it, cash flow, right? And have fun with it. Like, don't fundraise for something boring. Nobody wants to give money to something boring.
Yeah. And if you aren't entirely sure, maybe ask a friend.
Yeah.
A friend that's like actually going to tell you, not like the friend that's like, yeah, that looks great.
The friend that says that like your new haircut maybe isn't working for you, or maybe you should try a different.
Like that's not your best cut. for a dress.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to ask that friend, not your friend that tells you all your ideas are good. I mean, I love those friends, don't get me wrong, but in this kind of situation, yeah. Because I think, like, we've written a blog post about it a while back, but I saw this, like, fundraising campaign for this. It was this pizza place, and they wanted to move back to the old neighborhood they were in because they were in this, like, bad part of town, and they wanted to, like, raise money to, like, move their place. And it was, like, the way it was framed, it was so sad. It was like, oh, we're, like, margin of the downtown.
Yeah, how do you think the ones in downtown felt when they watched that?
Exactly, the other businesses around them. That's what I was thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking too. I was like, or the people who live there. They're
like banks.
And they had like this. They did this like really weird, like almost like a slideshow of music. Like
I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah, like it's like I think partway through there were pictures of their employees, and one of their employees was like doing the double finger thing, and the fingers were blurred out. And I was like,
why did you put that in there?
It was for like $20. I was like, really, for $20,000, like somebody can, you know, pull up a camera. I'm like looking on the desk right now, and we have like 3 things within arm's length that can take a video. Like, take a video and ask for it, you know? It's the least you could do. But this other, you know, kind of pizza place was like, oh, we're gonna get this like new oven, and we're gonna have community pizza nights, and you know, so it was like framed a lot happier. I mean, no one wants to bail out a sinking ship, but we all want to get on the ship that's like doing well
and offering community pizza.
Yeah, and has a happy crew, you know. So I just found that sometimes the way people frame things, it wasn't in their best interest to. Have you seen any sad fundraising in your days, or like anything really like cool that you were like, oh, I'll give you a few dollars?
I'm sure I have, but I can't think of anything.
No, sorry. Cassie and I have been moving for the past 24 hours. Like, we've been lugging heavy furniture up like down 2 flights of stairs and then up a flight of stairs. So we're a little bit zonked, but yeah. And we've got a speedy delivery here, so let's end the episode.
All right. And if you have any other questions or ideas for us, leave a comment on the video, send us an email. Yeah, we'll talk about whatever you want us to talk about.
Almost.
Don't get weird.
Don't.